disaster strikes, do you know what to do, where you will go, and how you will get there?
Do you have the perfect survival kit packed and ready to go in case you need to leave your home in a hurry? In this video, we are going to teach you how to pack the perfect survival kit in case you need to leave your home in a hurry.
Hi, I'm Jonathan.
And Kylene Jones, and we are the Provident Preppers.
Let's talk about how to create the perfect emergency survival kit.
Now, the perfect kit for me is going to be very different from the perfect kit from Jonathan.
We encourage you to individualize your kit to what you need. You can Google the Provident Prepper, how to create the perfect emergency survival kit, for lots of good ideas.
The first thing that it's really important to do is to evaluate your personal risk. If you live within 100 miles of a coastline, you are at risk for a hurricane. But if you live in the center of the United States, then you're not at risk for a hurricane, but you have some other unique risk factors also.
So look at your risks for your area and decide how you need to prepare.
If you Google the Provident Prepper 14 emergency kits to help you dominate disaster, you will find some different ideas for emergency kits that you might want to create that are different. What we're talking about today, we are talking about personal emergency kits. When we're developing our own emergency kit, there are some different things that we need to consider.
And one of those is time to prepare. How much time will you have once you know that something's happening to get out and be gone?
So if you look here on the left hand, we have a picture of a wildfire. So in this scenario, you may have days where you know that this fire is getting closer to you, but when it comes to the actual time to evacuate, you may have maybe 20 minutes. It just depends. However, on the other side, where you are looking at a tsunami, you have very little warning, and so you need to be prepared to evacuate just very, very rapidly.
Another thing to consider is how many will be evacuating. If it's just your family, if you're leaving your home because you had a house fire, that's a totally different thing than an evacuation involving thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions for some large event.
And then how about the length of time that you're going to be gone from your home? So if there's some type of a domestic something going on in your neighborhood and you are evacuated to keep you safe while the SWAT team does their job, you may only be gone for an hour or two. But in the case of an earthquake, you might never be able to return to your home. So as you're planning your emergency survival kit, you need to make sure you understand how long could you possibly be gone.
Another thing to consider is destination. Are you going into the woods somewhere? Are you going to be in a primitive setting? Or are you going to a hotel? This all makes a big difference.
Right, because in the hotel, anything that I didn't bring with me, I can probably purchase or somehow get a hold of. But if I'm hunkered in the mountains somewhere, I'm pretty much on my own. Whatever I brought with me is what I've got to help me.
Also consider travel time. Are you going across town or into a different neighborhood, or are you going a substantial distance, maybe into a different state?
And how are you going to get there? Are you on foot? Or can you load everything into the back of your car? That makes a huge difference on what you can physically take, because you do not ever want to overpack.
You also want to select the right container. This might be a backpack, it might be a bucket, a suitcase on wheels. I've heard of people that have a garbage can on wheels, and so there's a whole variety, and you need to think through this a little bit.
And carefully consider your physical limitations, because if you are young and strong, having a nice heavy backpack, you could handle that. But if you're older or in some way physically incapacitated, that's not even a possibility. And so you really need to gauge whatever container you have to your physical ability to carry it.
Think about your priorities. We like to use this example of the threes: 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. It kind of puts in perspective maybe some of the most important things.
Right. So while I usually think of food, I could realistically live for a couple weeks without any food. But water is critically important. It's also heaviest. But we need to make sure that what we are taking with us, that it falls in line with these critical priorities.
Think about the shelter that you might need. This might include protections from sun or snow, rain, wind. Think about those kinds of things and what you need to protect yourself and those that you love.
So one of the things that we do is we've got our survival kits, right? Our personal survival kits. And then on the outside of them, we have these lists. So if we are going in the winter time, our parka is not in that survival kit. But on that note, it tells us, make sure you grab this, this, and this, because you're going to need very different things in the summer than you would in the winter, and depending on where you're going.
Water is very, very important. We've already talked a little bit about this, but I think we all understand how critically important water is. So how are you going to have water that's ready to drink, and do you have the ability to find and purify water?
Yeah, so in our storage, we always store several cases of bottled water in the event that we need to evacuate and that we are able to use a vehicle. Those cases of bottled water would be immediately loaded into the car because those are a huge priority and they're just ready to go and safe. And then we also have water filters, which would enable us to purify any water that we were able to find.
Your mobility. How mobile are you, and how can you get to your destination? And is your kit sized appropriately for the method of transportation that you're going to use?
Now sanitation. So what supplies do you need for sanitation purposes on a daily basis? And think very carefully about this, because normally you have all of these things no matter where you go at your fingertips, but you might not have them. And so you want to make sure that in your personal kits you have the things that you need, like the soaps and the hand sanitizer and everything that you might need to take care of your personal sanitation, and the toilet paper.
Nourishment. Make sure that you have foods that are easy to prepare. Also, probably some that are high in calories, fat, and protein. Maybe things that we don't normally think of as how we should eat healthfully.
Like my Snickers.
But these are things that provide us energy. Those calories provide us the energy we need to get through.
And you don't want to have to think about cooking and preparing a lot of food.
Communication. How are you going to communicate with your family and loved ones, and how are you going to receive information? Receiving information is vital so that you understand what's going on and the risk and how that affects you.
And that may be the only way that you know when it is safe to return to your home, or if you need to continue on and evacuate to a different location. Vision. So you need to be able to see, and in my case this means that I need my glasses. You need light. These different things that you're able to pack into your kits are really important. The other thing is that you need to be seen. If you are stranded on the side of the road, the ability to be seen could save your life someday.
Sleep is something that's very important for all of us. We all have to have that rest for our brains to function properly and for us to be able to think clearly. So think about how you can get the rest that you need, whether it's a pillow or just whatever you might need to help you be able to rest well.
And be realistic about this. Do you need some sort of sleep aid in order to be able to fall asleep, especially with everything that's going on? What is your normal routine? And understanding that you are not going to be in your normal routine, what kinds of things could be helpful for you or for your loved ones to be able to get some rest? Oh, comfort. No, this one's mine. Okay.
Yes, it is.
I am a true believer that John likes us to be tough. I don't want to be tough. I want to be comfortable. Comfort items may actually significantly increase your ability to cope with an unknown situation. Whatever you have that you are physically or emotionally addicted to, as long as it's legal, you should make sure that you have that packed. If it's chocolate or my Snickers, it's important that that's in there. If you have kids that are addicted to their gaming devices, make sure that that's on your list so that we make sure that not only do they have their gaming device, but the backup power. It would be great if they would not be on their device, but quite frankly, now is not a good time to take care of those addictions. If you are addicted to caffeine, put your Diet Coke or whatever it is that you need. Make sure that it's in there so that you can handle this a little bit better.
Financial resources. What kinds of financial resources will you need in an emergency? For most of us, that means cash and credit cards. And in a lot of cases, that will take care of a great number of our needs. But think about those financial resources and how you may be able to help yourself through an emergency using those.
Now think about it for a second. So most disasters that you will come across can be easily handled with a credit card. We actually recommend that you have two, because we've had a situation before where we went out of town, forgot to tell the bank we were leaving, and so they cut off our credit card because it was being used in a different state. Make sure you have available credit on your credit cards, and make sure that you have a wad of cash that's in small bills. Because seriously, if you are evacuating due to a hurricane, it's going to be easy to stay in a hotel a couple 100 miles away. Special needs. Okay, really think this one through. So do you or someone that you love have some special needs? Is there asthma? Do we need to make sure there's an inhaler in there? Diabetic? Do you need your meds or oxygen? You really have to think through, because it will be very different the way that you pack and can evacuate depending on what it is that the special accommodations need to be.
Organize your critical documents. This is something that we recommend, having all these things in a binder, including keys and records, all kinds of birth certificate, copies of your birth certificates, all
insurance
those things.
Policies.
Exactly. Everything that you might need if you had to contact your insurance company, file a claim, or just prove that you are who you say you are.
Yeah, and that you exist. But the one thing we want you to be very, very careful about is that if somebody got a hold of this information, they could very easily steal your identity. So you want to make sure that this information is in a way that it's disguised and kept in a place where it is not really accessible for thieves.
Stuff is important. Having devices and tools and all these things is important, but knowledge is even more important. It is important that you understand critical principles and that you understand things that will help you through, regardless of what you have at your disposal. You may not have the things that you would like to have with you, but your ability to understand things and to work through things, that knowledge is very important.
A good example of this is water disinfection. So if you have a Berkey filter, that is the best that could possibly happen to you, right? But if you know how to disinfect water using just the sun and a plastic bottle, then you're still able to be safe from those waterborne pathogens and the illnesses that you might get from drinking that water, all because you have that knowledge. So it's really important that you do focus on the important things and what you know.
And that's a critical part of our mission. We try to provide all kinds of educational resources to help you understand how to do these important things.
And in the photo on the screen, we have Jonathan is there, and he's teaching each one of our children to be able to use each one of the communication devices within our home, or the emergency radio.
Right.
Do they know how to use it? Because they might not. Do they know what station it should be tuned to? Those are all critical.
Action plans are important. This provides you the framework to work through this in a way that's logical and that will help you get through an emergency situation. If you want to Google the Provident Prepper Action Plan Family Emergency Plan, or Google the Provident Prepper Action Plan Survival Kits, these are good resources that will help you get started with your action plan.
So remember, the most important thing you need to do is do a risk evaluation. What could possibly happen that would force you to leave your home? Evaluate that, understand what it is, then come up with a plan. Make sure you've got a plan in place, and then design your survival kits around meeting the needs that you're going to have if any of those risks come into play. Now, let's get started and make sure you are ready when disaster strikes.
And now for the question of the day. If you needed to leave your home in a hurry, do you know where you're going? Do you have an action plan? And do you have a kit to take you where you need to go?
And what is the most valuable resource that you have in your personal survival kit?